After what feels like an age, Elder Scrolls 6 news has at last come out, at least in the form of a screw-up, by the senior concept illustrator Ray Lederer, I believe that's how it's said, over at Bethesda Game Studios. His Pinterest account, which has now gone private after this, has begun gathering artwork to his once public image boards, now of course private, under the titles Men, Costumes, Weapons and Landscapes. The type of mood boards that you would expect, obviously, for someone doing concept design or planning and building up a new culture. All of the designs leaked heavily feature cultures of North Africa, Moorish or Middle East descent, and all are in keeping with the Red Guards and the perception that we have of them in Elder Scrolls lore. So, whilst it was already kind of considered to be a pretty likely sign for Hammerfell or High Rock in the upcoming game, this sort of out and out confirms it, at least in terms of theory, whilst making High Rock at least a little more uncertain. It could be considered if they want to bring together two different regions in an even bigger game, but Hammerfell alone is a fairly big landmass, and none of the previous games have ever really done that, with Skyrim maybe including sections of previous games, sort of akin to the chunks of the island from Morrowind and Oblivion having Oblivion realms in it. Nothing like an entirely new region, anyway. So, this seems to be a full confirmation for Hammerfell. I can't really see any other reason for it, short of just looking to maybe completely rebuild the races for the next Elder Scrolls game, like redesign them sort of in akin to how D&D has taken another look back at their races, developed them more as backgrounds and cultures. It could be something like that, but I don't really see any precedents in their other games to argue for that right now. So, assuming that it's hammering so hard on one culture and that a senior designer is looking so specifically into just the Redguard and not inclusions of anything else, we can assume that this is mostly just to push in on Hammerfell being the main region and developing mood boards and backgrounds to show other artists to build upon and create the overall image and vision for the game going forwards. Alongside that, in more minor news, there was another set of image boards that was found alongside it to include fish. Just fish, many different types of fish, which obviously implies a return to fishing in addition to what Skyrim had. Hopefully a little bit more in detail, which is still a good thing. I mean, I'd like to see more consideration of open world interactions, like the chopping wood, a little bit more in terms of bartering and economic mechanics, improvements to house building, and obviously fishing. Fallout 4 and Starfield sort of felt like they were considering more of the player-based dynamic. Obviously, it was a big part of the games, and Elder Scrolls kind of already had this to a degree with player houses and homesteads, so it's interesting to see so many years on now what will the next Elder Scrolls do with all of those mechanics in a fantasy game that really could fit these in well, and in some ways did these systems, at least in my personal opinion, better than its sci-fi counterparts. Overall though, whilst it would be fun to just kind of talk about the Redguard and speculate on things, I don't think that's something I can really include in this video. So, that unfortunately is the only news we've had in the past few days in regards to Elder Scrolls leaks that I can see, at least. If I see something else, I will obviously make another video, update you guys, as I am a huge fan of Elder Scrolls, and that this, as it hopefully draws closer, I would like to do more videos talking about it. This has been a small kind of bright light in a sea of relatively empty years when it comes to mainline Elder Scrolls fans. If you weren't a fan of the RPG, the MMORPG that is, then it's been pretty damn bleak. This would at least imply that they're finally working on it properly. The Elder Scrolls 6 is actually getting some production, some real developments, and maybe in the coming years we'll see a real trailer and the actual production. Fingers crossed that things are being made with the same care and thought that made the previous game so very good. The slight affirmation of this being the case with Hammerfell being more likely, well, I just hope that they give it the dedication it really needs. They give it the time it needs. Hopefully not too much more time, given how long it's been, but just make it good. Make it something that clearly the heart and soul of Bethesda has been working on, because After Starfield, this needs to be special. But that's all for now, guys. I'm definitely going to do another video, especially if we hear a little bit more about Hammerfell in coming days, weeks, months. I'd like to do something maybe covering real-world mythology in those cultures mentioned. Maybe sort of talk about what could potentially be monsters or creatures from those cultures that we could then see incorporated into the game. But that'll be it. If we get more information, I will of course let you know. Hopefully we get something, more leaks, just anything, any sort of acknowledgement of the game going forward. But until then, I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.